So for independent, we can choose either one or both or all of the choice. Which with for mutually, we have to choose the better projects. So we have 5 techniques, which is payback period, discounted, NPV, IRR, and ARR.
Payback period method measure how long a firm takes to recover the initial investment. It is easy to understand, however, it ignores the time value of money.
Okay, for example, this is for the initial investment. The company used up to 40,000 for the investment, and this is for the cash flow in for the year 1, 2 and 3, 20,000 each year. So to calculate how long the company takes to recover the initial investment, then for the first one is 20k and another one is 20k. So this the other balance 20k and it's settled in year 2, 20k. So the total amount of firm stake total year of firm stake to recover is 2 years.
Okay, slightly different from payback period. Discounted payback period. First, we have to calculate the present value for each year.
Using the previous example, so now we are calculating the present value for year 1, year 2 and year 3. So for year 1, the FD is 20k and this one I is 15. So the present value is 17,391. And for the year 2, for the year 3, it takes for the company to recover its initial investment. We must deduct the initial investment with the cash flow received. So for the first year, the cash flow received is 17,391. So they have another balance with 22,000, and for the second year, okay, it has another balance with 7,486, and the remaining will be recovered in the year 3. As we know, so in year 3, the cash received is more than the balance of the initial investment. Therefore, we must divide 7,486 with 1,350. So we get the ratio of 0.57. So the total years taken by the company to recover the initial investment is 2.57 years. In other words, 2 years and 6.8 months.
Okay, the third techniques of capital budgeting is NPV, which is net present value. Net present value can be calculated by subtracting the present value of the after-tax outflow from the PV of the after-tax inflow. Okay, for independent project, if NPV is higher than 0, so we accept the project. If NPV is less than 0, we reject the project. And for mutually project, if the NPV is higher, so we accept the project. Okay, next we move to fourth techniques, which is internal rate of return, IRR. IRR is the interest rate at which NPV of all the cash flow equal to 0. And IRR also is used to evaluate the attractiveness of a project or investment. For independent project, if the IRR is greater than cost of capital, so we must accept the project. But if IRR is less than COC, we need to reject the project. But for mutually exclusive project, we must choose the higher IRR because the higher IRR is the better.
Okay, next is accounting rate of return, which to estimate the accounting rate to the average investment made in the project. So we have two projects, project A, project B. For project A, the initial is 40,000 and the inflow is for year 1 to 20,000, 20,000, year 3 20,000. For project B, the initial investment in 90,000 and for year 1 the inflow is 40,000, year 2 40,000 and year 3 is 80,000. So this is the formula for calculating the ARR. Net profit divided by initial investment times 100 to find the percentage. So for project A, the initial is 20,000 for every year times 3 and minus the depreciation divided by initial investment. We get 52.5%. For project B, minus the depreciation and divide by the initial investment and we get 77.8%. So if we choose the mutual exclusive, we have to choose the best one. So we will choose B. For independent, we can choose both because both has positive percentage.
So capital rationing is basically the act of placing restrictions on the amount of new investments or projects undertaken by a company. So the objective is to select the group of projects within the firm's budget that provides the highest overall NPV or IRR. One is either to lease or to purchase. So what is leasing? Leasing is the process by which a firm can obtain the use of certain fixed assets for which it must make a series of contractual, periodic, tax-deductible payments. So there are two types of leasing. First is operating lease. Operating lease is basically a short-term agreement and it's cancelable. The lessee agrees to make periodic payments to obtain assets, services, and the total payments is always less than the lessor's initial cost of the lease assets. The other type of lease is financial lease. This lease is a long-term agreement. It is also non-cancelable, and the lessee is obligated to make payments for the use of the assets, and the total payments is more than the lessor's initial cost of the lease asset.
Okay, so for the company to choose either lease or purchase, they have to use NPV method by following the 4 steps. So the first step is to find the after-tax cash flow for each year under the lease alternative. The second step is to find after-tax cash flow for each year under purchase alternative. The third one is to calculate the present value of the first step and the second step. And the last step, the fourth step, is to choose the alternative with the lower present value. So there are several advantages of this and disadvantage of leasing. So the two advantages of leasing is leasing provides 100% financing. Second is lessee avoids many of the restrictive covenants. For disadvantages, a lease does not have stated interest cost, and the salvage value of an asset is realized by the lessor. We are going to discuss question 7.7, page 154. The first question asks to discuss the possible reason for Jekyll textile mills to lease rather than to buy the weaving machine, meaning that we have to discuss about the advantage of leasing.
First, the advantage of leasing is that company can prevent the equipment from obsolescence. If that industry demand that the company to have the latest technology, a short-term operating lease can help you to get the equipment you need to the update technology. So your risk of getting with the obsolescence equipment is lower because you can always return the equipment to the lessor.
The second advantage of the leasing is contract is flexible.
The contract is flexible as the company can, after the contract has come into the end, the company can choose either want to continue with a new contract or terminate the contract.
Okay, the third advantage of the leasing is when at the end of this period, the company has an option either to purchase or not the machine. Okay, so that's the third key advantage.
For the next question, to lease or to purchase the machine, to answer this question, we have 4 steps. For step 1, we have to calculate the after-tax outflow from the leasing. So, first, 70,000, the installation price, times with 1 minus the tax, which is 40%. So, we get 42,000. And then the outflow for the last year, which is 4 years, is 42. The after tax 42,000 plus with the salvage value 42,500, we get 84,500.
The amortization cycle. So now we calculate the maintenance cost. The maintenance cost is fixed as given in the question, 20,000. So and we calculate the depreciation with the rate that also given in the question. So this is the amount of depreciation for each year. And for the total tax deduction, we have to total up the interest, maintenance and depreciation for each year. Okay. From
How
the
much
tax,
the tax? How much? 40%, right?
Taxation rate, is 40%.
yes.
Okay.
Okay. From the tax deduction, so now we times with tax rate to know the tax year for the year. So this is the tax year for the year, and to know the after tax cash out of the purchasing, we need to total out the loan payment and maintenance, then we deduct with the tax year. So this is
Okay, so to find the MPV for purchasing, first we have to we can find it through the calculator, financial calculator. We found all the cash outflows from step 2. So as you can see, CFJ is 0 and CFJ1 is 60,867 and the rest is as follows. And the interest is 10%. Then we're gonna shift MPV and we're gonna get 199,292.16. Now we want to find the MPV for the lease. So we do the same thing as we did for the purchasing. CFJ0 is 0 and the rest is as follows. CFJ4 is 84,500 because we have to add the book value which is stated in the book, which is 42,500, and from that we calculate, and the the interest is 10% and shift MPV and we get 162,162.42.
Okay, after that we move to the next step where we need to choose the alternative with the smallest present value of cash flow. Okay, based on the